welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit different than what I normally talk about. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, don't worry, a lot of my videos are a lot more happier and upbeat, but for whatever reason, I just felt like I really wanted to talk about this topic, and it is about controlling and emotionally abusive relationships. I stopped myself from making this video many times, mainly because it's a very sensitive topic and I understand that. And not only that, if I talk about it, I felt like maybe I'm being too vulnerable and talking too much about myself. But then the other side of me thought, well, I remember when I was in the situation and I was in an unhealthy relationship and all I wanted to do was talk to somebody, or I just wanted to read different articles on how to get out of the relationship because I just didn't know what to do. Knowing that there's a possibility that I can potentially help somebody, it just made me think like, you know what? I'm gonna make the video. So with that being said, let's get on to the video. So a little bit about me. I was in a long-term relationship for many years, and in the beginning, it definitely was great. And it was all dandy until like 2 months into the relationship, and then I realized that he would make like condescending comments towards me about things that I would wear or things that I would do. But what I realized after a few more months was the fact that it was getting worse. And not only was he making comments to me, it was more so he was being very controlling, and it was controlling just in the aspect of like who I can hang out with, who I can't hang out with. And it sounds crazy to me because even right now, if someone were to tell me like, oh, this person doesn't want me to hang out with somebody, or this person doesn't want me to dress a certain way or whatnot, I would be like, well, then don't hang out with them. It seems pretty easy to just be like, well, cut them out of your life. But if you're in this relationship, you know that it's really hard for you to get out of that mental state. I just felt like I couldn't leave him and I just couldn't do it, and I didn't have the courage to do it, which is so ironic because before I used to be this very independent, bubbly person, and slowly I began to realize that I was changing into something that was just completely not me. And honestly, even a year into the relationship, I felt like I was walking on eggshells. I felt like every time I had something to say or I wanted to do something, I was just so nervous to talk to him about it, and I just didn't want to do anything to piss him off because at the end of the day, in my mind at the time, I was like, I want to make my boyfriend happy. Now, if you have watched up to this point and you think to yourself, wow, I can relate to that, that's a red flag. Let me tell you right now that you are not in a relationship that is healthy for not only yourself, but for the people around you, because the people around you see what this person is doing to you, and I'm sure it hurts them to see you like this. There were days where I would just imagine not being in a relationship with him, and it just felt like freedom. And you know, looking back now, it's like you should never be in a relationship where you feel like a burden is lifted off your chest if you're no longer with that person. And I'm not saying significant other, it could be a best friend, it could be a friend, it could be a relative, a family member, whatever. It could be any type of relationship, but if you feel in your heart that if you were to disconnect yourself from this person and you would feel so much happier, chances are you probably will be that much happier. It's crazy for me to think because I feel like I not only walked on eggshells, but I felt like I was a completely different person. And more importantly, I felt like I didn't have a backbone. And a little bit about me, I'm actually a very big people pleaser. I really like to see other people happy. But let me tell you right now, there is a huge difference between being a people pleaser and wanting the people around you to be happy and being a complete doormat. By the end of the relationship, I felt like I was a complete doormat. I felt like I didn't have a backbone, I didn't have an opinion, and it's because I felt like I was completely brainwashed. Now, if you think to yourself in a scenario where you were the third person and somebody came up to you and said, all of this, I'm in a relationship where this person is controlling, where they don't want me to do a certain thing, or I'm scared to talk because I'm scared that they'll get mad, naturally you would think, wow, that's a really unhealthy relationship, get out of it. But after years of somebody beating you down every single day, it's really hard to snap out of it and be like, you know what, I'm better than this. Your family and friends can tell you how much they don't like him or like her or like this person in your life, but if you don't take any action, then nothing is going to change. One big, huge mistake that I feel like I just couldn't get out of was the fact that every time I would try to break up with him and build the courage to break up with him, he would just tell me that he was gonna change and that he apologized for everything that he's done. He promised that he was gonna be better. Newsflash, things do not change that quickly. As much as I wanted to believe that that was true, I knew deep down, like gut feeling, I knew it was never gonna change. I knew that this was just gonna be a situation that was just very unhealthy, and if I don't get out of it, I was literally gonna go insane. You know, sometimes you might feel like if you got rid of this person and this person is out of your life, then all the memories that you've had with this person and all the years that you spent with this person is just gonna be down the drain, and you know, it's just a waste of time. And there's that little glimmer of hope that, maybe this person can change. 99% of the time, it's not gonna change. And if they have molded you to change into something that you're not, like for instance, I in the beginning was super bubbly. I was very happy all the time, and I was genuinely a very happy person, and I had a very strong backbone. If I had something to say and I felt like something was not right, I would voice that opinion. Let me tell you how quickly that could change if you're in an unhealthy relationship. I totally get it. Deep down in your gut, you know that this person is not right for you. This person should not be in your life because they are making you very unhappy, but you don't know how to get out of it. Whether it's doubt of uncertainty, whether it's just you being scared because you don't want to be alone, or just the fact that, hey, you spent X amount of years with this person and you don't want to just pour it down the drain. All of these excuses that you're making for yourself is not going to make you a happier, better person in the future. Looking back on that relationship, obviously, initially, when I got out of the relationship, I was really upset because I felt like I was losing a best friend, but eventually I felt like a burden was lifted off of my shoulder. I felt like I could breathe again. And just that feeling of like freedom was so amazing. Even though when I was in the relationship, it was so awful, I am so grateful that I was in that relationship, because at the end of the day, I know that I've learned so much, not only about myself, but what I should tolerate from other people. Just because a person doesn't lay their hand on you, it doesn't mean that they're not abusive. Abusive relationships come in many different forms. It's not always physical. It can be mental. It could be emotional. And that is still an abusive relationship, and that is a relationship that you need to get out of. So I feel like I kind of just rambled on in this video, but I wanted to talk about this topic because I feel like people have come to me and told me stories about their relationship, and I realized that this kind of situation is a lot more common than I thought. And the crazy part about this is people are ashamed to talk about it. And quite frankly, I was really ashamed and embarrassed to talk to my friends and family about this situation because I didn't want them to judge me. I didn't want them to judge me. I didn't want them to judge the boyfriend that I was with at the time. The current relationship that I'm in, I want everyone to meet him, and I want everyone to get to know him, and I want everyone to get to know him fully as the person that he is. There's nothing that I'm gonna sugarcoat anymore. And the biggest motivation for me to make this video is solely because when I was in this relationship, I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't figure out what to do with myself because I just didn't know what to do. At the time, YouTube really wasn't an outlet where people talked about things like this, talked about sensitive subjects. It was about like videos on animals or videos on like tricks and stuff like that. So I just felt like this was just something that I wanted to get out, even though it is a sensitive topic. And I really hope that if you're in a relationship that is unhealthy, that this helped you and this at least gave you a little bit of courage to know that your happiness is so important, and that you need to love yourself before you love anybody else. And there is no one in this world who should be talking down to you and telling you that you can't do something, because honestly, life is too short for you to be unhappy. So that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys like these type of talking videos, let me know down below. And if you feel like you know somebody who may be going through a situation like this, make sure to share it, because maybe it will be able to help them. And with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye! Frequently.
Really early.
Frequently.
Free Willy.